You never requested anything from me, and that's what scared me the most. You loved me without conditions, and I wasn't used to that kind of safety. You were the first person who didn't try to take from me, but instead showed me how much I already was. You never asked me to change, yet somehow being with you made me want to become better on my own. You were the first person who didn't demand my time, but somehow became the place I wanted to spend all of it. You never requested proof of my love because you trusted my silence just as much as my words. You were the first person who didn't compete with my past, but gently helped me heal from it. You never asked me to explain myself, and that gave me permission to finally breathe. You were the first person who saw my flaws and didn't treat them like warnings. You never requested attention, yet your absence made everything feel louder. You were the first person who made effort feel natural, not forced or transactional. You never asked for reassurance, but somehow you became the reason I felt secure. You were the first person who didn't rush me and still somehow arrived at my heart first. You never requested loyalty, yet I couldn't imagine choosing anyone else. You were the first person who listened without planning a response. You never asked me to stay, but you gave me a reason to. You were the first person who didn't treat my emotions like a burden. You never requested perfection, and that's why I felt safe being imperfect with you. You were the first person who didn't need control to feel close. You never asked me to prove my worth, and that healed parts of me I didn't know were broken. You were the first person who made love feel calm instead of chaotic. You never requested promises, yet I found myself imagining forever. You were the first person who didn't try to own me, but still made me feel chosen. You never asked me to explain my silence, because you understood it spoke too. You were the first person who respected my boundaries without questioning them. You never requested effort, but loving you never felt like work. You were the first person who didn't pressure my heart and still managed to hold it. You never asked me to be strong for you, and that's why I felt safe being weak. You were the first person who didn't demand space in my life, yet became a part of everything. You never requested attention, but my attention kept returning to you. You were the first person who didn't rush love and still made it feel intense. You never asked me to choose you, but every choice somehow led back to you. You were the first person who didn't question my pace, even when I moved slowly. You never requested reassurance, yet your presence was reassuring. You were the first person who made emotional safety feel attractive. You never asked me to fix myself, because you loved me as I was becoming. You were the first person who didn't treat love like a transaction. You never requested explanations because you trusted my intentions. You were the first person who made silence feel intimate instead of awkward. You never asked for control, and that made me trust you more. You were the first person who didn't demand vulnerability, but earned it. You never requested effort, yet I gave it freely. You were the first person who made consistency feel romantic. You never asked me to chase you, yet I kept choosing you. You were the first person who didn't confuse intensity with love. You never requested anything from me, and that's how I knew it was real. You were the first person who didn't make love feel like survival. You never asked me to prove myself because you already believed in me. You were the first person who didn't pressure my heart to open. You never requested loyalty, but you inspired it. You were the first person who made emotional peace feel addictive. You never asked for my world, but you became part of it. You were the first person who didn't try to fill my emptiness, but helped me understand it. You never requested anything from me, yet you gave me everything I didn't know I needed. You were the first person who didn't demand love, but deserved it. You never asked me to stay, but I stayed anyway. You were the first person who didn't chase my attention, but captured it. You never requested a thing, and somehow that meant everything. You were the first person who made love feel gentle and powerful at the same time. You never asked me for more because you were already enough. You were the first person who showed me that real love doesn't ask, it understands.